Hi guys, we're back on the road again, and we're meant to be back at Linear, but it ain't happened this week. I'll explain more into depth when we get to where we're going, but we're back down to Crowsheath. We're about, what, 10-15 minutes away. Just parked at a local petty station, just went in and got a Costa. I'm absolutely knackered. So I didn't want to get a week off this week. Basically it's a good moon phase. I was really looking forward to getting down to St John's. I think I was going to get one of the top 5, if I was ever going to get one of the top 5. This year it would have been then, so a bit gutted really, but it ain't happened. But give me a chance to get down Crowsheath and scope the place out. It's looking good for bites. It's cold, it's winter, you know what can I say, bites are going to be few and far between, but there's a decent head of fish in there. Pinching a bite or two is all we're looking for really. So we're pushing into late November now. Nights are cold, days are cold. I think the warmest it's going to be while I'm here is 8 degrees. So, but we'll try and make it work. Got the old big gas bottle with me this week, so we're going to be living it up. So yeah, just feels good to get down to Crowsheath actually and scope the place out, and because I'm hoping to get a couple more winter sessions on here. So hopefully we'll get back down to St John's next week for part 3. Who knows, we'll have to play that one by ear, but we'll go into depth with that when we get in the bivvy and get nice and tucked up. So about 15 minutes away now. Traffic's finally dying off. It took me about an hour and a half to get here. It should only be an hour journey. The missus had me looking all around the bloody house for long johns. Not happy at all. So 20 minutes later on the road coming here on the M11 is made me 40 minutes later really on the trip, realistically, just because of traffic. The M11 pushing onto the M25. So not happy with the missus. She can be getting a phone call in a minute, a bit of abuse down the phone. Where's my long johns? I searched everywhere. 25 minutes, still nowhere to be found. You know what I mean? Now I've had to put 2 pairs of trousers on. I feel like a right blonker, you know what I mean? But anyway, we're here, we're in Essex, and we're going to make it happen, and hopefully we'll pinch a bite along the way. See you in a bit. Well guys, we finally made it. Feels like I've been walking for 2 hours. You see the trees are completely leafless here since I was here last, and I went for this end. It's a long old hike down, plus I've got a puncher on the trolley. That's the peg I'm going to be fishing. In fact, it leaves me options open for this peg too. I had a good spot rocking in here, got a good spot proper prepped up in here, so I'll probably put 1 out in this peg and 2 out in this peg, which is just here. It's winter, I'm down the far end of the lake, it's fine, there's only 8 of us on. So you've got to make the most of the water that's in front of you. So I can pretty much only go by what I know from when I was last here. When I was last fishing here, I was always prepping for winter. So basically this is the winter test session. If I don't catch this session, I won't be back. Basically this is my favourite moon phase, and we're in November. This should be their last half decent munch up. So if I don't catch this session, I've got 48 hours. If nothing happens, then I won't be back on this water this year. So I've got a little spot out there, not too far out. The water's really clear since I was here last, which means the fish haven't been feeding as hard. And then up here, let me walk you down here. Just got here, just get my breath back. That puncher kills the old electric trolley. I have to push it myself. Forgot how hard it is to push a trolley, especially when it's loaded up like that. So here we are, here's the peg of choice. If I think I'm going to get a night bite, it'll probably be from this area here. Like I say, this lake is a maze. The fish could be anywhere. So I'm really sort of just going by what I prepped early in the year. You can see the wind's just picking up. Sorry about that if that's distorting a bit. So out there I'll have a rod around there and around here, and then one up in the next peg up. I'm going to be fishing bags of maggot, just small bags of maggot, well not even small, quite large bags of maggot. I probably won't get the spom out till this evening. I might get the spom out and put 2 spoms over each rod in the dark. Probably about 8 o'clock tonight maybe. But for now, it's 9 o'clock in the morning now. the weather's finally brightened up and eased up a bit. Give me time to get the bivvy up and set up camp, and we'll get the rods out. It was so moody this morning, it was disgusting. God, it looked horrendous. I thought, what am I doing? But yeah, and then I thought, you know, you can't miss. This is probably their last munch up. So fingers crossed for a fish or two. This is definitely the test session. Crowsheath, bring it on. Right guys, it's about 2:30 now. Got about just under 2 hours before dark. Nothing's happened, as expected, to be honest. A lot of the bites have been coming out in the dark now. It's all swapped round, as where when I was here earlier in the year, it's all day bites. Got the traps all set, haven't made much disturbance, all got them out first cast, just with bags on. And believe it or not, I'm going to move. It's been quite windy today, and it's hacking up the other end. It's not even a warm wind, but see, I've got everything set up there. I'm thinking if I move now, I've still got 2 nights up there. I don't want to waste the night down here. It's important not to waste time in pegs that are not going to do bites this time of year. And I just feel like I'm just in the wrong area. You've got to go where you go, ain't you? So I'm going to walk down there and lead out and find a couple of spots quickly, whip the rods in, and I'll meet you when I'm down there leading out and show you where I'm fishing. I'm thinking of this spot. This is the one. Never fished here before. I've only fished here a couple of times on the fishery in general, so I'm still clearly learning. Like I say, the place is like a maze. There's loads of places they can be. So I'll still be able to put one out in the middle section there, look, where I've got one launched out now with a bag. I'll probably have one about there off the island quite a bit. And then I'm thinking of having one over there on the island. And then there's a good deep water margin gully that runs down here. And then there's a gravel bar that runs from there all the way to here, where they dug the 2 lakes into one. And I'm thinking if I just put a rod around there, quite in close, not too far out, and then there, and then there, I think that's where we've got to go with this. In fact, I've got my rod with me now. I'm going to lead out, find some spots, get packed up and put 3 bags out for this evening. Yeah, bugger it, that's it, we're going for it, we're on the move guys, we're on the move. Hopefully it'll pay out, and we'll join up later, hopefully after I've made the move, if it's not too dark. See you in a bit. Well guys, look, I done it, didn't I? Just got on my toes. Got about 40 minutes before it's dark, so it gives me just enough time to get everything reset and get the rods back out. I let it out, found a couple of nice spots, so I hope this pays off. I don't know, I just weren't feeling it down there. If you're going to be out in November, you want to be feeling comfortable. I was comfortable up there, but I don't think I'd have slept well knowing that I should have moved if I didn't. But look, it's a bit wider here, it's lovely, a bit brighter because you've got no conifers behind you. Look at that view down there. We're losing the light a little bit, but nice little forest down there. Not that makes a difference, but it's just a nice little view to look over. Got an island to look at as well, some nice reedy margins across the far bank. Wind's just kicked up a bit. Right, I can't talk too long. Like I say, I've got half hour, 40 minutes to get the rods reset and get everything set back up. Yeah, we'll probably catch up a bit later on for a bit of grub, or hopefully for a carp. See you in a bit. Time to rack up a bit of grub now. That move took it out of me earlier. It's got some noodles in there, they're just simmering. Well, they're pretty much nearly done now. I'll just leave them simmering in that warm water. Don't like to boil the crap out of them. In here we've got a bit of the missus's grub from yesterday. She gave us a couple of chicken legs, packed me off the old roast chicken yesterday. So just heating them up with a little bit of butter in the old ridge monkey. It's come up nice actually. Yeah, just keeping it simple. Some noodles and chicken. Thought I'd give you a little catch up from earlier because it got pretty dark pretty fast as it does in November. And I'm really glad I made the move, and yeah, nothing's happened as of yet. I haven't seen nothing, but I feel like I made the right move. Just had to remind myself of why we're actually here. There's a few really nice good looking 30s in here, so we've got to make the most of it. I mean, there's not many, probably only 8, maybe 10, but they're good lookers. And it'd be nice to get one of them on the bank. I've come a long way to get one of these 30s. So to get anything even remotely up that size will be an absolute delight, I guess. God, chicken's just rolling off the bone now. That looks absolutely banging. She even left the skin on for me. I love the skin. So yeah, it's just a quick update really. Getting my munch on. I'll stick the kettle on, kick back, watch some YouTube I reckon, and hopefully listen out for a fish or two. So hopefully we'll see you in the evening or first thing in the morning. See you in a bit. Good morning guys, what a beautiful mid-November day it is. Freezing mind you, but lovely and sunny. To be fair, the sun's not even warm with this wind chill. It's freezing cold. Last night went down to 1 degree and no fishy action. Look how carpy it looks out there. I can't believe I ain't had one. I really was confident in the move last night, but I think we're getting a bit closer to the action. So we're going to get on the move again today, I think. In fact, I don't think I know we're going to get on the move. Unless I have one in the next 2 hours. I'm going to sit it out here till about 2:30 and fish this peg out. But I've got this peg mapped out, so it's another good bit of homework done. These pegs are usually so busy in the warmer months. Don't get a chance to even get a lead out here. So I found some nice spots. The fish are just clearly not here. So this time of year the fish ain't out looking for food, so you got to take it to them. They're not on the hunt, they're not moving about massively, but on a day like today with these strong winds and the sun out, the fish should definitely be on the move. So there's always a chance of picking up a bite. So you can see the traps are still set from yesterday or late yesterday afternoon when I arrived in this peg. And I moved from all the way down up there. So we've made one move already. It didn't pay off, but I've seen no carpy action here. I've got that left hand rod is out in open water out there off the island, and these pegs patrol this little reed line here, so I've got one rod there and then one in the deep water in the deep silt. Just trying to target all the areas, trying to cross things out, trying to get closer to cracking the code on this water. It might be too late, it might have shut down. It is quite a shallow lake in a lot of the places, but it's got so many different depths. It's up and down like a yo-yo, and with all the nooks and crannies, like I said, it's like a maze around here. And with that and all the different depths, and it's just hard to get things right when I haven't been here for 9 weeks, and I've only done a couple of sessions on here prior to that. So but yeah, it's quite exciting trying to figure this out. And that's the main thing, as long as you still got the buzz. I'm just chucking bags of maggots about at the minute. Like I say, it's a bit cold for anything else, to be honest. I'm quite surprised I ain't picked one up. Thought this would be a nice passing point through here, because this is the passing point from that big half of the lake where the islands are right through to the open water part. So we've definitely got our work cut out for us. According to the bailiff, and that is fishing extremely slow, as to be expected. Probably doing a fish or two a week at best. So fishing tricky. Fish are tricky in the summer, so it's going to fish even trickier in the winter. The fish have got bigger, they've got wiser, they've got harder. So we're going to get on the move. We're going to see this out to about 2:30. I'm going to have some grub and that, and then I'm going to move down there. I'm going to zoom in. If you can see that guy's umbrella, he's pike fishing. He's right down there. I'm fishing, going to fish 2 pegs up this way towards where I am now. And yeah, we're going to go for it and keep plugging away. 3rd move in 2 nights. So hopefully it will pay off. Or you never know, could even get a bite here in the next day. I'm just working out bite time still, you know. They could just feed for an hour in the afternoon. So I'm going to leave the rods till 2:30. I'm going to get everything else packed away up in here. Oh, everything else packed away here. And we're going to get on the move. Right, so I'm going to get some food on. We'll have a chat when we get up there and get settled in. Well, by the looks of that lot, it's looking a bit bleak. Hope the old move don't get rained off. It's coming down nicely now, but I mean, I've got a couple of hours left in this peg, so it does look a bit carpy out there, to be honest. I did just see one to the right there. It's only a baby though, probably a 10-pounder, maybe a bit bigger. But it's a fish, first fish I've seen since I've been here. But I'm still going to move, I think, unless something dramatic happens in the next 2 hours. It's like 12:30 now. I wanted to get the move done by about 2:30 time. Right down there, I've dropped the bucket in up there. I don't know if you can see it right down the end there. I've covered everything up on the trolley. I don't know if you can see in here. Probably not. You can see a bit. I'm all packed up. I'm all packed up, ready to move. But right now I've got to think of worst case scenario. If the rain doesn't sort itself out, I will have to stay here because I won't be moving in the rain. It ain't about that, is it? I already moved once. To move again in the rain, a bit of a nightmare. But only because I've seen that fish that I would be quite content in staying. But I think we're still going to move. It's all weather dependent from here on out. Look at it, it looks carpy as, doesn't it? Only if we weren't halfway through November, it'd be game on. Right, until something happens on the buzzers, I'll see you then. Right then guys, here we are. Hopefully one step closer to getting a winter bite on this lake. Up at the new peg. The rain did hold off long enough. Well, stopped for about 20 minutes. I think we've probably got another 20 minutes to get the house back up and get everything sorted and safely inside dry. Here we are. Got the bivvy, I just got inside it and carried it down, lifted the ground sheet up. And there we are, piled back on the trolley. Just got to go back down and fetch the rods there, leaning against a tree down the far end up there. Right, onwards and upwards. I'm not going to put any bait in until this evening. Hopefully the wind will finally die off. It's been a pretty brutal wind this session. But hopefully we'll pinch one of the stunning fish that live in here and get rewarded for all our hard work. See you in a bit. Well, lo and behold, we're in another peg. I thought I weren't going to move again, but you know how it is. So I just packed up, got everything on the barrow, just dropped the bivvy and that off, all the heavy items back at the van. Got the rods in, I've come over here, I've seen a couple of fish, the first few fish I've seen since I've been here. So what I did, I broke this lake down into, just walk you down to the other rod, I've got a single rod just here. I broke the lake down into 4 sections and I fished all 4 sections in this one session. You cannot get more homework done than that. So if I do decide to come back, when it does warm up a little bit, if we get a little warm spell this winter, these will be the pegs I'm going for. There we are. So I went for 3 zigs, all scattered about as far as possible, all where I've roughly seen a show in the last sort of 3 hours or so. It's 12 o'clock now. I'm going to hang on to about R3, 4, 3.5 hours, all 3 rods, bang on the zigs, all around about the mid depth. Some one's a little bit higher, about 8 inches higher than mid depth. Just got that out for now, see what happens. They clearly weren't interested in food at all. Pulled in perfect rigs. The tufties were eating bait this morning, the bait hadn't been touched. I think they just clearly not zoned into maggots on here. Or maybe they would be if you get them amongst them, but yeah, they're not actively searching them out. I don't think many have been in here. I was only throwing small bags about, because we are a couple of weeks, we'll be in December. There you go, 4th move in 1 48-hour session. Well, it'll be a little longer, just over 50 hours by the time I go home, I guess. But plenty of homework done, 5 pegs mapped out. Feel like I'm edging a bit closer to getting a 30-pound winter carp. Right, if something happens, we'll catch up again. If not, I'll speak to you before I go anyway. See you in a bit. I consider this little guy a real friend now. He's followed me around all 4 pegs, around all different sections of the lake. Look, he's so tame. I swear he's just always lurking for a bit of food. What you want, Mr. Goose? Look at him. He's obviously been abandoned by the rest of the flocks that are over here. He's just been on his own since I've been here. Just chilling. Follows me around the lake. Look at him still eating that bit of grass. But anyway, we're down to 1 hour and 20 minutes. I've changed both. I've left 1 jig out now, and I've changed 2 rods to bottom baits with bags, both with pink corn, bit of pellet and a couple of maggot in there basically. What I got left over, flung it out, 2 bags, changed all the rigs back over, bish bash bosh. Still got 1 on a zig, 2 on bottom baits. Hour and 20 minutes left. This session's been a grueler, but I've learnt a lot. I generally think I can come back now any time in the winter, as long as it's not like, you know, -7, and maybe pick a bite up. So in 1 session I've managed to comb out a whole 9-acre lake, and boy, is it a long lake, and lots of nooks and crannies like I mentioned, and I've sussed it. I know I'm sitting here without a fish and you think, sussed it? Clearly not, but yeah I have. I found out what's going on. You've got to think, I've only fished here a couple of times before, never in the winter. I ain't been here for 9 weeks. So I'm going to have to suss the place out from scratch, basically. And I've sussed it out this session, finally. With my 4th move, I got to where I need. Things are looking good for a bite, so you never know. So until anything carpy happens, we'll leave it there. If not, I'll see you in a bit. Well guys, unbelievably, we got one at last. 4 moves and 48 hours later, we finally got ourselves Crowsheath winter carp. Nice little common. Just nice to see the rod go, Jesus. So I covered the whole lake this session, as I mentioned. I finally come up trumps in the last move. I only got round here for about 4 hours. That's enough to get a bite, and I've definitely worked the place out. And that's what goes well for me on these lakes, is I figure things out quick, and I'm sure I can come back and get more winter bites now. So if Linear is flooded next week, we might end up starting a new series at Crowsheath Winter Series. So I'll get this fish up, 17 pound. Let's weigh that. She's just having a bit of a flip. You all right? Just a little bit more. Come on, girl, calm down. Full of energy, put up a good scrap. That's the main thing. Nice winter scrap. Loving it. Only a baby really, but 17 pound all the same. Loving life, and it saved the blank. Do you know what? Thank you, mate. God, I nearly went home a broken lad. Instead of going home on top of the world, knowing that I've really cracked things on here, hopefully, and it means I can get a good head start when I come back next. But for now, I'm just pleased with this little guy. And you never know, I've got the rod straight back out. We've still got about 35 minutes left. We could pinch another one. Right, let's get it. Well, that's it. Last gasp. I'll give this rod like 3 minutes before I pull it in. It's the last rod out. Everything else is all tucked up nicely on the barrow. And what made me come around here and give it a few hours is just the weather was just so nice. The wind had stopped, so the wind's been cold the last few days, and it was just sunny, it was warm, it was a delightful November day, and it'll probably be the last bit of sun and warmth that we see for a while, because we've got another week and a half of rain coming. So not sure how that's going to affect me being back at Linear next week, but you know, it is what it is. I guess you'll see me either here or at Linear plugging away, trying to pinch the last big uns. But either way, really buzzing to have got that common in the end. Loving it. I can honestly say it's a big weight off my shoulders for coming back for a few sessions, and it's nice to get in this part of the lake and really examine it and find out what's out there on the bottom in front of different pegs. Like 5 or 6 pegs I've mapped out today, or well, within this session. I had the fish over on the island over there in shallow water, believe it or not. Just chanced it and put a big bag on it. Still got this rod fishing. There's still a bit of carpy action over it. I'll give it a couple of minutes, but you know, nothing will probably happen. But anyway, so I'll see you next week. Not sure where I'll be, here or Linear. Hopefully at Linear, if the floods are not too bad. If they are, then I will be back. So either way, loving life. We'll be back on the bank. Look at that rat near my barrow. Look at the size of that thing. Can you see that? Let me zoom in. That. Look at him, right on my barrow. Hold on. Focus camera. There he is. Look. Look at the size of that bloody thing. Who does he think he is, eh? He's scratching at my little pellet tub all night. See how close we can get before he scurries. Cool, the rats are definitely a lot bigger here than they are at Linear. Mind you, there's probably 10 times more at Linear. Here he comes again, look. Bloody scrappling about, right near my alarms, look. Right, this really is last knockings. I've got to pull the rod in. There he goes. Thanks for watching, as always, and keep following along. Hit that subscribe button and make sure you don't miss another episode, whether it be a series or a random day ticket episode, or even a new series starting on a new syndicate next year. Don't miss out, guys. Right, see you in a bit.